Alright, so right now I don't have a particularly fun game, and if I were to restart, as you see, um, the ball does not return to its original position. So if we were stopped and the ball was started again, it might very well end up in the red. So something you can do is just go back. A couple things we can do here. We can, when we click, we can go return to a position. So I can return the ball to 0, 0. And that way, when we start over, the ball starts in the middle. Okay, so, and then we're playing. Okay, and then, the game doesn't end very lovely. Here, it just sort of, game just sort of ends. So one thing we can do is actually, um, instead of perhaps having the game end, we can keep score. So we can keep score by creating a new variable. So we're going to go to data, and we're going to hit make a variable, and we're going to hit score. All right, and we're going to hit for this sprite only. Okay, and so we're going to do a few things. So we have the ball has a score. Okay, and what we're going to do is, so if the ball touches the paddle, well, first we're going to set the score to 0. So if the score was anything above 0, it'll be reset when the flag is clicked. And then what we're going to also do, if we're touching the paddle, we're going to change the score by 1. Okay? And if we're touching the sprite, we're going to change the score by -5. So if we're, sorry, the sprite 1 rather is the red zone. We'll change the score by -5. So instead of ending the game, all right, the sprite will touch, and we should also bounce this off the sprite too. So we're actually gonna, I can copy this code here. I can duplicate this and put that in and get rid of the last change in score. So now we can run our program and see what happens. So every time I paddle it, it's going to add something to the score, and every time the red zone hits it, I'm going to add, it's going to subtract 5 from the zone, 5 from the score, so I really have to make sure I protect. Now again, you might decide that this game is too easy. As you see, especially if you hit in the corner, right? This game is so easy if I just let it keep bouncing off of the paddle. So what you might want to do in this game is control the paddle, not by the mouse, because it's too easy. What you might want to do in this game is control the mouse, control the paddle by the arrows. So I can hit, we can kind of go back, and when the up arrow is pressed, we will direct this thing going upward, which is 0 degrees, and move 10 steps. And then I'll copy this block, duplicate. I'll do when the down arrow is pressed, we'll point downward, which is 180. Duplicate the block again. When the left arrow is pressed, we'll go to the left and duplicate again. When the right arrow is pressed, we'll go to the right. And this can make this particular game, a little bit more interesting because the paddle does not move as quickly. So you're really going to have to strategically place the paddle. Okay, now that's pretty glitchy, so we don't want that in this game. So just to kind of show you how to avoid that, what we can do is, what's happening is there's no time gap between when the ball hits the paddle. So we can fix that. Now as you can see here, we discussed this before, I actually figured out a place to put the paddle where the ball just continues to bounce off the paddle and my score accumulates and nothing actually happens. This would be a glitch in the game. And one way we can fix this is, so after the ball has been touched by the paddle, we change the score by 1 and then just wait a little bit of time here. Watch. See? What's happening there is that you're only going to touch the paddle once, and then the ball's going to touch the paddle once, and then it's going to do its turn, change the score by 1, and wait another second. So you can't touch the ball, okay, in a 1 second time frame more than once, okay. So that's how you can avoid that. And again, you're going to have some glitches in your program, and that's okay. What we're going to do is a process called debugging, which is a way to get the glitches out. And I can help you with that. And this is going to be a learning experience for everybody because you're probably going to come up with mistakes that I have not even thought of, or glitches that I've not even thought of as you get creative with this project. So, and again, this is not a particularly exciting game, but what you might want to do is, one thing you can do here with the ball to make this a little bit more exciting is make the ball move 20 steps. So now it's faster, okay? And I'm not sure why our paddle stopped moving, but that was a little bit of a glitch there. So I restarted, and now the ball is really rocketing fast. So now I gotta think fast. Now your paddle might be going a little bit too slowly for this, or the ball might be going a little bit too fast. So I want to slow this down, 15 steps. Okay, and I don't know why my computer is my computer having an issue. The paddle should just be moving all times. So here we go. And this is a little bit faster, and now it's more of a challenging game. In fact, I have negative points here, so I gotta make sure I defend. All right, and now it's a bit more challenging of a game. Okay, so you can play around with this and make it a more interesting game. So I'm going to share one of the games that I made that actually creates a balloon at random spots that you have to try to pop, and that's a way to get points. Okay, so there's lots of ways you can modify the game. In fact, the project has, and I'm going to add to this list, lots of ways you can modify the game, and one of the ways you're going to earn points on this project is to come up with some creative ideas and try to program them. All right, guys, thanks.